when I'm running. I always think what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Oh my gosh, guys, I was muted. There's no way I was muted. I appreciate you for catching that on darts, guys. Next time, like when I like watch back my stream, I'll be like, oh my gosh, couldn't like I was muted the whole time. Okay, that's it. I'm pretty sure I'm not muted anymore. Okay, and then we go with a method. Which should I like explain the whole thing again? I don't know. I think I'll just move on. Okay, so I create a attack method which is a void. Okay, that's actually kind of funny though. Okay, so I go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of my name variable, and then I go with attacks with strength power. And then I create a main function. Inside of my main function, I go ahead and invoke my warrior class, and I go with W1. Okay, honestly, I think W1 is my object, so my warrior class, and this is the object. My name parameter is Argon, and my strength parameter is 90. And then I go with warrior1 dot the attack method. Okay, I think I understand. Here's the breakdown of what's happening. So we created a class of warrior, defined a blueprint of creating warriors. Inside we have attributes, name, strength, and methods. So, okay, and methods, the attack method. The constructor sets up each warrior's initial data. In the main function, we create W1 and W2's objects using that blueprint. Each warrior then attacks their own behavior. Now listen up, pupil. Object-oriented programming isn't about fancy code, it's about organizing chaos. In this real world, everything is an object with properties, attributes, and actions, which are methods basically. Did you try constructor overloading? Honestly, that I eventually do want to go over constructor overloading because I do have that in my roadmap, but I didn't like actually start that till now. It is like my first time doing object-oriented programming in C++. That said, in real world, everything, okay, C++ gives you the power to build your own worlds using that same structure. You've just taken first step into that world. Next, we'll go deeper. Okay, I do need a few practice questions. Although before that practice question, let me go ahead and copy this part, paste it, go with Shift Enter. I do have a question. Let me say something like, let's say, I do need some instructional based questions to practice before we move on. That said, I had a question about this part. dot dot dot. Okay, let's see. So, when we do name equals to n ending with a semicolon, okay, let me actually fix my typo here. There we go. Name equals to n with a semicolon. Is that a instance variable question mark? I remember in Python we used to do self dot name equals to name dot dot dot. Okay, finally, Nightbot joins the chat. Howdy for us, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, excellent observation, people. Your mind remembers well from your Python training. That's a sign of a thinker, not a coder. Now focus in C++. You're right. Name equals and strength equals s. Inside the constructor, you're assuming values to instance variables. You're assigning values to instance variables. Yes, just like self.name in Python. Here's what's really happening beneath this style and syntax. Name and strength are data members. C++'s terms for instance variables. N and S are parameters passed into the constructor. Inside the constructor, you're taking the input variable and storing them inside their object's own variables. Okay. When you later do this in the main function, okay, you could also write this explicitly as this name and okay, I see. Alright, let's see our first instructional based question. So, create a class called wizard with two data members. The first variable is going to be having a standard string and the second is going to be an integer variable called mana. The constructor should take two parameters n and m and assign them to the instance variables. Okay, then write a method called cast spell that prints something like Merlin casts a spell with 100 mana, no using namespace std. Okay, let's get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, that said, this is the code from my previous stream when I was learning recursion. I haven't like programmed ever since because I didn't have college stuff. That said, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, and then let's see. So the instruction says create a class called wizard. So let's go ahead and create a class called wizard. Okay, and then I go with a pair of curly braces. And guys, I actually might not remember the syntaxes correctly for this. Okay, that said, create a class called wizard with two data types. The first should be a string, the second should be an integer. Should I go with something like standard string of name, okay, ending with a semicolon, and then a integer of mana, ending with a semicolon as well. Maybe I end this with a semicolon too. Okay, there we go. And then the constructor should take two parameters, n and m. So let's go ahead and create a constructor. I might as well add a comment that says constructor. Okay, because it is a pretty good habit to add constructors. That said, I'm going to be going with something like, let's see, my name variable equals to n and my mana variable equals to m. And equals to m. Okay, did I like forget something here? I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I can access my name variable. I honestly might look at the reference and how sensei/ChatGPT first did that part. Okay, if I go all the way down. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was correct. Oh, I messed one thing up. So, whoops. If I get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, so I had to first invoke my warrior class or like call my warrior class, then fill in the two parameters of n and s. Oh, and then I add the instance variables. Okay, I think I see. Okay, let's get sensei/ChatGPT there. Are you Indian? Honestly, I've never been to India. I'm honestly pretty excited to be there someday. Or visit someday, bro. What is today's coding problem? Honestly, today I'm working with object-oriented programming in C++. I have done it in Python, although in C++ syntax might be different. That's it. I am going through the basics of object-oriented programming first. The constructor is a function. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's go ahead and invoke my wizard class to add a few parameters. The first parameter will be a standard string of n, and the second parameter is going to be, let's say, integer of mana, which is going to be m. And then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Inside my pair of curly braces, I'm going to reassign my name variable to be equal to n, okay, and my mana variable to be equal to m. Okay, this actually makes much more sense now. Okay, let's read the next instruction. Let me just scroll all the way down. There we go. Okay, the constructor should take two parameters, n and m, did that. Assign them to the instance variables, did that as well. Then write a method called cast spell that prints something like Merlin casted a spell with 100 mana. You're smart, keep it up. I appreciate you, RJ. Why are you acting so zesty like your voice? Guys, many people do say me that I'm acting zesty. Guys, I'm actually not acting zesty. That said, I appreciate you, Nisix. If I pronounce your name correct. It's constructor automatically calls when function is called. Is constructor automatic? Oh, it's constructor automatically called when function is called. Okay, I think I see. I think I see. Okay, next up, let's see. Let me go ahead and create a function called cast underscore spell. This is going to be a void function since I'm not going to be returning anything. So let's just go with something like cast spell. The constructor is called when creating a new instance using the class blueprints. Okay, I think I see. Because I have done like object-oriented programming in C++. Although I feel like it is kind of, I am kind of new to it in C++ though. I've done it in Python, not C++, my bad guys. Okay, so cast spell. So write a method called cast spell. Okay, inside my cast spell, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be adding these parameters here. Instead, I'll just go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be something like my name variable with an insertion operator. Okay, let's see. So like Merlin casts a spell with 100 mana. So I'll go with casts a spell. Wait, should I like actually need to add my parameters? Okay, let's go with a standard string of n and a integer of m. Oh, using a object, right? Honestly, I'm going to be creating my object inside of my main function. Okay, the constructor is called when creating a new instance using the class blueprint. Okay, I think I see. Okay, so let's assume this is Merlin. Merlin casts a spell using... I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. My mana variable with another insertion operator of, let's go with something like mana. There we go, ending with a, maybe an exclamation, and then I'll end it with a semicolon. Bro, I'm watching you since the beginning and you're already in object-oriented programming. That's insane, bro. Keep it up. I appreciate you, Yash. Honestly, I feel like because I have been doing object-oriented programming in C++, so that I do have like a brief idea on how things work. That said, okay, this should be pretty much it. I will go with another / new line. There we go. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with something like integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces inside of my main function. Then write a method cast spell that prints something like this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure inside of my main function, I could go ahead and invoke my wizard class. Let's create an object. So I'll go with my wizard class. There we go. And then let's name an object name. Okay, so this is going to be something like wizard1. Okay, I'll set wizard1 to be equal to, actually I'll add a few parameters. This is going to be my object. Okay, my two parameters are going to be my name and mana. So the name could be something like Merlin and mana could be something like 100. Okay, honestly, can't I like do that? Okay, pass string by reference rather than value, so no copy. Oh, that does make sense. You actually don't need to have any parameters in the cast spell method because it has access to the class main, name, and mana. Oh, I see. Okay, so I could like remove these. Although if I remove these, I don't have access here. Okay, my wizard class. So that is my wizard class. My wizard class does take two parameters here. Am I missing something? And then I do have a spellcast method. Okay, instead of that, should I just go with my name and parameter, actually, and mana? Okay, does that work? Okay, that does work. These are the instance variables. So, okay, honestly, I might just ask where I messed up because, like, I actually don't think that I understood this part. I mean, you would have to use the name and mana. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's paste this, go with shift enter and say something like, so say, I feel like I messed up, ... question mark. Okay, let's see where I messed up. Okay, you did mess up, pupil. That's good. Every error is a blade striking against your weakness until only skill remains. Now let's inspect your code like a blacksmith inspecting a cracked sword. Here's where you faltered. Okay, so access specifier is missing. Okay, everything in a class defaults to private in C++. Oh, I didn't go with a public class. Okay. That means your constructor and cast spell methods are both inaccessible from the main method. Okay. You need to explicitly make them public or else your program can't call them. So class wizard, I go with a public class and then add my regular code. Typo in method name, you wrote case spell, it's cast spell, ta ta ta. Okay. Okay, so I think I see. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT there. Okay, so what I messed up with was I didn't actually convert this to a public class. There we go. Okay, now I explicitly say that this is a public class, and let's go ahead and indent everything inside my public class. Okay, now my integer main object can use my Merlin or my name parameter and my health parameter. Actually, my mana parameter. I'm going to be ending that with a semicolon. Next up, I got to print that. So let's go with something like wizard1. Okay, so my wizard1 object dot, let's say the cast mana function. Let me fix my typo. There we go. Cast spell, honestly. Let's go with cast spell. Okay, I'll add a pair of parentheses to invoke the function, ending with a semicolon. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I did Control S to save the code, is a C++. Honestly, I did C++. It's like my first time learning object-oriented programming in C++. That said, let's see. Merlin cast a spell using 100 mana. Okay, perfect. Honestly, in that case, the only thing that I did forget about was to explicitly convert this to a public class. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here again. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this. Okay, let's see. Huh, no, that's how you summon a true arcane master. Okay, this code is perfectly forged, people. Not a single dent in its syntax, not a leak in its logic. You've built your first proper C++ object. Okay, you've built your first proper C++ object, complete with attributes, a constructor, and a method that performs an action. Okay, when you ran it, your console should have proudly proclaimed Merlin casts a spell using 100 mana. Okay, that's the sound of your code breathing life into an idea, the essence of object-oriented programming. Remember this feeling. You didn't just print text, you commanded a being you created to act on your orders, okay? Now we raise the bar. Your next lesson, constructor overloading. Honestly, hold up, guys. Let me say something like, let's say, before I move on, I need more practice, dot, dot, dot. Can we do more questions, question mark, although one at a time. Okay, I miss Python. Honestly, I miss Python as well. I should actually, like, whatchamacallit, after my programming for 250 series, I might actually, honestly, I do need to go on different topics, although I do want to do Python again. That said, excellent people, that's the spirit. Okay, that's the spirit that separates a dabbler, is I pronounce it a dabbler, from a devourer of knowledge. Fine. One question at a time, each four to sharpen your understanding of classes, constructors, and methods before we advance to the next tier. Here's your challenge too. So question number 2, create a class called Knight, okay? Create a class named Knight with the following requirements. 2 public data members, string, okay, an integer of health, a constructor that takes 2 parameters and assigns them to a data member, a method called take damage, okay, that has a parameter of damage to it that reduces the knight's health by that amount. Then prints a line, Arthur takes 20 damage, health now 0. Actually, health now 80. Okay. In main function, create a knight named Arthur with 100 health, then call take damage 20 once. No using namespace std allowed. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. If this is day 26 of CPP and day 30 of programming, what do you do the first 4 days? Honestly, the first 4 days I was actually working on vectors in Python, because like after my Python for 100 days series, my goal by the end of that series was to make a game in general. I didn't like completely conclude Python. I did have vectors left in my my roadmap. So I spent the first 4 days for my programming for 258 series to learn Python, the vector concept. Okay, that said, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, next up, let's read the instructions. It says create a class named Knight with the following requirements. So let's go ahead and create a Knight class. So I'll go with Knight class. add a pair of curly braces, and then my this class is going to be a public class. So I'm going to explicitly say that it's a public class. So print a dialog using asterisk using just one for loop input refers to a number of lines. Oh, honestly, I've never tried that. Okay, that said, this is a public class. My public class will be having two public data members. The first is going to be a standard string of name. The second is going to be an integer of health. So let's go with something like a standard string of name ending with a semicolon and a integer of health ending with a semicolon as well. So these are my two variables or data members. Do we call them variables inside our method, or do we call them like data members? Okay, and then create a constructor that takes two parameters and assign them to the data members. Okay, so these are called data members. Okay, next I'm gonna go ahead and create a constructor. There we go. Okay, for my constructor, let's go ahead and invoke my wizard class. Actually, this is not wizard class. My knight class, and then add a pair of parentheses. I'm going to be adding my variables. Actually, I'm going to be adding a few parameters in here. Okay, so let's go with a standard string of name, which is going to be something like n. Okay, standard string of n and integer of health. Okay, and then let's go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my pair of curly braces, I'm going to create a few instance variables. So my name variable is going to be equal to n ending with a semicolon, and my health variable is going to be equal to an h with a semicolon. For the record, both classes and structures can have both public and private members. Oh, and methods. That actually makes sense because I did like learn structures. Like I think I did that like I don't know, like 5 or 6 streams ago. That said, okay, so create a method called take damage that has a parameter of damage, which is an integer that reduces the knight's health by the amount. Okay, so let's go ahead and create, let's say, a function, actually a method, because functions inside of classes are called methods. That said, I will go with a void function. So let's go with something like void take damage. I'll add a parameter. My take damage method will be having a parameter of damage, okay? And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my take damages method, okay, so it says that reduces the knight's health by the amount. Okay, so that is by damages amount. Okay, so I could go with something like health minus equals to my damage parameter ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then print a line like Arthur takes 20 damage. Excuse me, guys. Okay, print something like Arthur takes 20 damage, health now 80. Okay. So I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to insert something like my name parameter or like my name data member. Okay, that is going to be a name. I'll go with something like takes 20 damage. Takes 20 damage with a space, and then I'll go in a new line. Let me add an exclamation. There we go. Okay, I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. Okay, health now is 80, so I'll go with another pair of, whatchamacallit, double quotes. Health now is damage misspelled. Oh, did I spell it wrong? D-A-M. There we go. Okay, perfect. Also, shouldn't you verify if damage is within a range or not? Honestly, I don't think I'll like do that right now because I am like learning the basics and getting used to how classes work. That said, after a few more questions, I might actually focus into that as well. Okay, health now is, let's see, I'll go with another insertion operator. My health now is going to be my health variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Let's see next up. Next up, in my main function, I create a knight named Arthur with 100 health, then call the take damage method once. Okay, let's add my class with a semicolon. And then let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Okay, inside of my main function, I'm going to be creating an object. So let's go ahead and create an object for my knight's class. So I'll go with knight. This is going to be knight1. I'll add a pair of parentheses and fill in my parameters. My parameters is going to be a name and a health. My name is going to be Arthur, so A-R-T-H-U-R. There we go. And then my health is going to be 100. Okay, perfect. I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, I gotta invoke or like I gotta call my take damage method. So let's do something like my knight1's object dot the take damage method. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it. Did I spell it correct? There we go, I spelled it wrong. Okay, lastly, I invoke my take damage method. I do need a parameter. How much damage do I want to deal? Let's say I want to deal something like 20 damage. Or did I need 20? Okay. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Classes, variables should never be public. They should always be private. Oh, I see. It doesn't really need to be. It's just a design choice. Some people say sometimes you need to access variables from outside the class. Oh, I see. Okay, if I were to go with the control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. It says Arthur takes 20 damage, health now is 80. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control C, copy that. And guys, these are pretty basic object-oriented programming related questions, although I do eventually want to increase the, the difficulty level. Okay, magnificently struck pupil. Okay, you didn't just write correct code, you wrote clean, readable, and intentional code. Let's see what you did right. Access specifier, perfectly used public. You've shown you understand. Okay, you've shown you understand visibility. Constructor, properly assigns parameter to data members. Logic solver subtracts damage, updates health, and prints result. In our main function, creates the object called method, ends clearly. Okay, too much verbose, isn't it? Honestly, I've never heard of verbose. Okay, yeah, the getter slash setter approach is the one I personally see the most. Oh, I see. Okay, Arthur takes 20 damage, health is now 80. Now I'll point out a tiny imperfection because every warrior must polish their blade even when it gleams. In your damage method, you hard-coded 20. Okay, I should have gone with my damage parameter. Okay, in the text, that means later, if you call the damage method with 10 parameter, it'll still print 20 damage even though it's subtracted by 10. Okay, I see. Okay, perfect. Alright, so for question 3, create a class called Archer with two data members. The first is going to be a name. The second is going to be an arrow. Requirements, create a constructor. Assign both values. Okay. And then I gotta create a method called shoot that decreases arrows by 1 each time it's called. Prints name, shoots an arrow across the left arrows. Okay. If arrows reaches 0, print name is out of arrows. Okay, see, in main function, create an archer named Robin with 3 arrows called shoot 4 times. Okay, let's get sensational ChatGPT there. Okay, unemployment youths. I mean, you're writing and chirpers great code. Did I spell that correct? Then probably yeah, but getter slash setter for variables. Okay, why not? What if you need to do something with objects? Honestly, guys, I'm actually just doing like I'm just solving questions that I'm getting by Sensei slash ChatGPT because I do want to like get a brief knowledge, and then eventually I will be moving on to mini projects. That said, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream, and I feel this question is a bit more different from the rest because I do need to use decision making slash if slash else if slash else clause. Okay, that said, so create a class called Archer, so I'll go with an Archer class. And then let's say, let's go with a pair of curly braces. Ending this thing with a semicolon. My Archer class is going to be public, so I'll go with a public Archer class. And then under my Archer class, I gotta create 2 data members. First is a standard string of names, second is an integer of arrows. So let's go with something like a standard string of name, ending with a semicolon, and then a integer of arrows, ending with a semicolon as well. Okay, requirements, create a constructor, assign both values. So I gotta create a constructor, so let's go with a comment that says constructor. There we go. And then for my constructor, let's go ahead and create a constructor. To create a constructor, let me go ahead and invoke my Archer function. Actually, my Archer class. There we go, I spelled it correct now. Okay, so I'll go with Archer, and then a pair of parentheses. Inside my Archer class, I'm going to be adding 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be something like a standard string of name. Okay, and the second is going to be an integer of, let's say, arrows. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add a few instance variables. So let's go with something like my name variable equals to n, ending with a semicolon, and my arrows is variable equals to a, ending with a semicolon as well. You don't expose them because the key concept of object-oriented programming is encapsulation. Encapsulation, is that how I pronounce it, guys? I'm kind of bad with pronunciations. That said, Let's see, create a method called shoot that decreases arrow by 1 each time it's called. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a void function called shoot. Honestly, okay, before I create a void function, actually a void method, because functions inside of classes are called methods. That said, before I create a void, let me think, do I need to return something? If arrow reaches 0, print okay, there's nothing to return, so I think it needs to be a void function. Okay, I mean a method. So my void method won't be having any parameters in it. That said, let's see. I'll add a if statement. Decreases arrow each time it's called. Okay, so let's do something like my arrows is variable minus minus. Okay, so excuse me guys, that should decrease my arrows every time it's called and prints name shoots and arrival arrow to the top. Okay, so let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Honestly, let's go ahead and add this inside of an if statement. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Let's do something like if my arrows is variable is less than or equal to 0, that's when I'm gonna decrease my arrows is variable by 1 and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Generally, in object-oriented programming, each object should care about only itself. For instance, the knight should only tell the enemy it got damaged, but has no business changing the enemy's HP. That's the enemy's job. Honestly, yeah, that does actually make sense. Okay, +1 Basilios. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, so I go with a static console output. This is gonna say something like name, shoots, and arrows. So I'll go with my name variable, and then maybe I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. I'll go with a pair of double quotes and say something like shoots and arrow. Okay, honestly, let me like lowercase this. There we go. Name, shoots, and arrow, exclamation, and then I'll go with something like arrows left. There we go. So arrows left. And then I'll go in another line, add another insertion operator. This is going to be my arrows as variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Let's go with an else clause. Else, if my arrows is either... Okay, if arrows is greater than 0, then I'm going to do that. Else, I'll go with something like... Okay, name is out of arrows. So let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. It should be arrows greater than 0. Honestly, I should like pay more attention in that. That said, I'll go with a standard console output, my name with another insertion operator. Did you mean arrows not less than or equal to 0? Honestly, yeah, I like sometimes kind of mess up with my greater than or less than, but eventually when I read the code again, I'm like, whoops, I messed up. Okay, that said, so my name is out of arrows, so I'll go with something like is out of arrows. There we go, let's go with an exclamation. Okay, with another insertion operator, instead I could just go with a / new line. Okay, that's pretty much it. Then I go ahead and create a main function now. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a main function. My main function, okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside my main function, let's go ahead and create an object from my archer class. So I'll go ahead and call my archer class and then a object name. So I'll go with archer1. So archer1 is going to be having 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be a name. I'll go with something like Robin. And then my archer class is going to be having a, let's say, number of arrows as well. I'll go with something like 3, ending with a semicolon. And then let's see, let's go ahead and invoke my shoot method 3 times. So I'll go with something like archer1, my archer1's object dot the shoot method. Okay, and I'm going to be copying that and pasting it 3 times. So let's go ahead and paste that. Paste it again. Maybe go with shift tab to de-indent. There we go. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. If I hit Control S to save the code, a forward new line is good, but it doesn't guarantee flushing, but it's fine for now. Honestly, I should use standard end line as well. That said, if I already run the code, let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. Wait, I didn't run the code? There we go. Okay, so it says Robin shoots an arrow, arrow left 2, Robin shoots an arrow, arrow left 1, Robin shoots an arrow, arrow left 0. Let's go ahead and invoke it one more time. Let's see what happens if Robin shoots an arrow 4 times. Okay, if I go with Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. You can also include using namespace std instead of typing std each line. Honestly, many people did say me that to like use using namespace std. Honestly, some of you guys did also say me that not using standard console output in like bigger projects could cause name conflicts, since other libraries do have whatchamacallit, they do have the console output. Is it called like function? I'm pretty sure it's not called function, but they do have the console output as well, so that could like cause name conflicts. Okay, so it is like a bad practice in large scale code, but for now it's actually good advice. Honestly, I feel like eventually in bigger codes, if I don't have the muscle memory to type standard console output, it might be harder. That's it, let me just hydrate my lips. Okay, yes, that's a perfect hit, people. You nailed the logic. Guys, I just dropped something. Guys, I just dropped my chopsticks is this. Okay, I think I'll figure out where it fell later. Okay, that said, you nailed the logic, handle the zero arrow case, and your constructor is solid. A few tiny sharpening touches to your arrows in a laser, method naming C++ convection in lowercase for method, shoot instead of a capitalized shoot, not a deal breaker, but consistency matters in big projects. Minor grammar, you wrote shots and arrow, it should be shoots and arrow, okay, typo. Tiny typo, but it makes the output read naturally. Everything else is flawless. Your output should be Okay, time to push your object-oriented programming muscles further. Next challenge, we're laying constructors plus multiple methods updating. Internal state dynamically create a class called healer. Okay, this time I gotta have 3 data members. The first is going to be a name, the second is going to be health, the third is going to be potion. I'd honestly advise against using namespace std since there is the slim chance different libraries overlap. Of course, this doesn't apply here since it's only IOStream using. Honestly, yeah, I do understand. That does make sense. Actually, guys, let me just find my whatchamacallit, my chopsticks is head real quick because it's gonna dry up. Honestly, I feel like. There we go. Okay, right here. Let me just close that. Okay, let's read the requirements. So the requirements is to assign all 3 methods, heal, integer amount, that if potion is greater than 0, increases health by amount, decreases potion by 1 and prints. Okay, name heals for amount, health now, health, potion left. Okay, if potion is equal to 0, print name has no potions left. In the main function, create a healer called Luna with 50 health and 2 potions, call heal 3 times. Okay, sup, how's college going? How you doing, Matrix? I appreciate you joining the stream. Honestly, college is going pretty good. I'd say it's kind of stressful because, like, I actually was kind of busy yesterday learning for, like, one of my exams. When I went to my class, I figured out I'd complete an assignment today. So I'd, like, actually complete that assignment on class, and I was like, whoops, that is going to be marked as late. Okay, so let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IOStream. That's it. Let's read the instructions. So I gotta create a healer class called... Okay, so I gotta create a healer class. A healer that can only heal itself. That is pretty funny, guys. I think my healer is gonna just heal itself. Howling Lazy, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so let's go with something like healer. Okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my healer class, I have 3 data members. First is name, second is health, and third is potion. So let's go with something like a standard string of name. Okay, this is going to be my name member, my name data membership, or I forgot what was it called. I'm pretty sure it was called like data member. Okay, the next is going to be an integer of health and potions. So let's go with something like health. Well, glad to hear, bro. I wish you all the best. I appreciate you, Matras. Okay, so let's go with health. And the second one is going to be potions. So let's go with potions as well. Okay, now we'll fix my typo here and end this with a semicolon. Okay, that's it, the requirements. I gotta create a constructor, assign all 3 methods. Okay, so create a constructor, assign all 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a constructor. Maybe I'll go with a comment that says constructor. There we go. And then I go ahead and create a constructor for my healer class. And honestly, let me go ahead and capitalize that. There we go. Okay, so I'll go with healer class, add a few parameters. Okay, so the first parameter is going to be a standard string of name. The second is going to be an integer of health. and the third one is going to be an integer as well of potions. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and add a pair of curly braces and create a few instance variables. Let's go with something like name equals name ending with a semicolon, health equals health ending with a semicolon as well, and potions equals potions. Honestly, should my instance variables be something different? I could go with something like this. Okay, so name equals to n, health equals to h, and potion equals to p, ending with a semicolon. Okay, great man. I just wanted to ask, how are you learning object-oriented programming? Like watching some documents like W3 School. Honestly, I just use Sensei slash ChatGPT for now, but I could try using different places as well. Yeah, I know you could like pass a pointer to a character class and increment its health. Oh, I see. Or maybe use multiple messaging channels or something to transmit the information about the healing. Honestly, that does sound pretty cool, but I don't think that I've gone that far yet. Okay, that said, I gotta create a method called heal that has a parameter of amount in it. So let's go ahead and create a heal method. And this is going to be a void method because I'm not going to be returning anything. So I'll go with something like a void heal method. Add a pair of parentheses. My heal method is going to be having a parameter of amount to it, which is going to be an integer. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside that, I check if my potion is greater than 0, I increase my health by amount. Okay, so let's go with something like if a pair of parentheses. So if my potions is variable is greater than 0, I do something. Okay, so increase health by amount. So I'll go with a pair of curly braces and change potions to be potions. There we go. Okay, now I gotta increase health by my amount. So let's go ahead and do something like health plus equals to my amount, ending with a semicolon. That said, decrease potion by 1 and print. Okay, and then I gotta decrease my potions as variable by 1. So I'll go with something like potions minus minus, ending with a semicolon. Okay, so that decreases my potions by 1. And then I add a standard console output that says name heals from amount, health now, health, potion left, potions. Okay, let's do that. So I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my name variable. Maybe I'll go in a new line and add another insertion operator. Okay, heals for, so I'll go with something like heals for. I'll add another insertion operator. This is going to be amount. So I'll go with amount. And then maybe I'll go in a new line and another insertion operator of an exclamation. Okay, with another insertion operator, this is going to say something like health now. Honestly, I could write that here. So I could go with something like health now. There we go. This is going to be my health variable. I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator of potions left. Let's go with something like potions left with another insertion operator of my potions as variable. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to be, honestly, I might go with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, someone's going to recommend a template function, isn't it? Honestly, someone's going to recommend a template function. Bruster C++, honestly, it's C++. That said, I gotta go with an else clause as well. If potion is equal to 0, print name has no potions left. So I could go with an else clause here. So I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces. Inside of my else clause, I'm going to be adding a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like name. Maybe I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. This is going to be like has no potions left. So I'll go with something like has no potions left exclamation with a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, let me lastly go ahead and end my entire class with a with a semicolon as well. And then I gotta create a main function and create a healer object called Luna with 50 HP and 2 potions. Okay, okay, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I am going to be creating an object. So I'm going to be creating a healer object. So I'll go ahead and invoke my healer class. Okay, my object is going to be called something like healer1. Okay, I'll add a pair of parentheses and add two parameters. The first parameter is going to be my name, and the second parameter is going to be my health. Third parameter is going to be my potion. So my name is going to be Luna, my health is going to be, let's say, 50, and my potions amount is going to be 2. Lastly, I'm going to end that with a semicolon. Did I mess something up here? I have a standard string of names, so name equals to n. I'm pretty sure I did this part correct. Did I mess something up? Okay, so I went with a main function, created a healer class. That is Luna. Did I mess something up here? Pretty sure I didn't mess anything up. Okay, so for my constructor, I go with a standard string of n. This is going to be my name. And this is h and p for potions. Okay, so I go with healer. That's Luna. Okay. Hold up, guys. I forgot to publicize my class. There we go. What's he trying to build? Someone explain. Honestly, I'm not trying to like build anything big right now. I'm actually just understanding the basics of object-oriented programming in C++. That said, let me go ahead and indent this whole thing. There we go. Okay, perfect. That should work. Okay, how are you? Okay, how you doing? Honestly, I don't think I can read that. Looks like a text-based adventure game. Honestly, it's just like basic practice questions on object-oriented programming. That said, I'm going to be doing something else now. So after I created an object, I'll go with my healer1 object dot the heal function or the heal method, because functions inside of classes are called methods, ending with a semicolon. I'm going to be adding a parameter of something like 50 because my healer heals 50 health. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, let me just delete the whole thing and run the code again. Okay, there we go. It says Luna heals 50. Okay, Luna heals for 50 health. Potions left 1. Okay, potions. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty much perfect. Let's go with the control C. What language is this? Python? Honestly, it's C++. That said, let's go ahead and get sensei/ChatGPT here. Paste this. Okay, then build a software that you like, something which you want to build, not what a chatbot tells you to do. Honestly, eventually I am going to like do that. That said, I do want to learn the basics before I move on to something more advanced, because like later when I do something advanced, I don't want to be like overwhelmed. Okay, so alright people, you're getting there, but I'm not going to give you a gold star just yet. Here's what's off in your code. Method naming again in C++. Okay, again in C++, it's a conventional to start methods, lowercase, so heal. Okay, this isn't breaking your code, but habits now save headaches later. Okay, main test, you were supposed to call health 30 3 times, not just once with 50. You need to simulate using all potions and hitting no potions left scenario. Everything else is solid. Your constructor, okay. Fix those and run it again. Okay, I see. Honestly, I think I just didn't read the instructions correctly. That said, let's go ahead and paste this 3 times. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this one last time. Okay, so I invoke my function 3 times, and then I get my heal method to be lowercase. So change that to be a lowercase h, and lastly a lowercase h. That said, if I go with the control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. You need to have a basic understanding of the language you're using before you start building complicated softwares. Whether ChatGPT is a valid source for learning or not is another thing. Oh, I see. That does make sense, honestly. Okay, it says fatal error. Did I have anything highlighted? Okay, let's try going with a control S and running it again. Okay, let's see. There we go. Luna heals for 30 HP, health now 80, no potions left. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control C. Get sensei/ChatGPT here. Use camel case for function names. Camel case? Oh, I see. Okay. So like, it starts with lowercase and then it's capitalized. But building stuff you like has one benefit. You really invest the development process. Oh, I see. That does make sense. Okay, yes, that's what I'm talking about, people. You fix the method name. Now you're actually testing all your potions. Perfect. The output will show. Okay, this is exactly how constructors and instance variables work together in C++. Your health and potions are instance variables, and are instance variables. Each object tracks its own state like it's self.health in Python. Now, we level up. I want you to make two different healer objects and alternate their heals in the main function to see independent states in action. Don't just copy paste, think like a coder. Okay, so I want you to make two different healer objects. So I need two different healer objects. Alternate their heals in the main function to see independent state changes. Okay, I think I see. Let's get sensei/ChatGPT here. That said, let's go ahead and create another healer object. So I'll go with my healer class. Okay, and this is going to be a healer too. Okay, I'll go with the parentheses. This time the healer is going to be called something like, I don't know, maybe David. Here we go. David has, let's say, 70 HP. Okay, and then David has 2 potions. Honestly, let's go with 3 potions. Ending with a semicolon. That said, let me go ahead and copy my healer 2. So I'll go with something like healer 2 dot, let's say something like heal. The heal function. I want to heal, let's say, 10 HP. Ending with a semicolon. I will be copying this. Okay, and then let's go ahead and paste this 3 times as well. So I'll go ahead and paste it one more time. There we go. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, this is for Luna, that's for Dave. What happens if I print this once more for Dave? Okay, let's save the code and run the command and see. There we go, perfect. Okay, I don't disagree, but if you don't know the basics, it can be very daunting or even demotivating if you can't figure out even the basic stuff out before. Okay, because you don't have the fundamentals. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense because many of you guys do like recommend me to actually start like making games or something like that, but I'm like, if I don't understand the basics, it wouldn't make sense to actually go up there. They're like, you actually understand if you do stuff. Okay, of course, yeah, the basic stuff is important. Okay, that said, excellent people, look at that. You just demonstrated independent object states perfectly. Healer and Healer 2 track their own health and potions. Healing Healer 1 doesn't affect Healer 2, where potions run out. When potions run out, the message correctly shows has no potions left for each object independently. You're getting to the core of object-oriented programming in C++, constructors plus instance variables plus methods managing state. This is exactly how real game track multiple characters. Next step, let's make this harder. I want you to create a take damage method, okay? With a parameter of amount to it, method of your healer. Okay, this is going to be a method of my healer. So they can also lose health and alternate healing and damage for both objects in the main function. Think carefully, I'm expecting independent tracking for both health and potions to do it. Okay, let's get sensei/ChatGPT here. That said, I might not need so many, invokings of my, methods here. That said, I will go ahead and create another void method. So let's go ahead and create a void method. Okay, so I'll go with something like void. This is going to be take damage. So let's go with something like take damage. Add a pair of parentheses. Okay, my take damage method will be having a parameter of amount as well. Honestly, this is entertaining. I do appreciate you, Anonymous. Okay, so I'll go with integer of amount. There we go. And then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. And guys, my PC is actually running out of charge. Give me a sec. Let me just charge it. Okay, there we go. I mean, not PC, my laptop. That's where I see the chats. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I have an integer amount. Inside of my take damage method, let's go ahead and add something. So it says, okay, I want you to create a take damage method with the amount parameter for your healers so that they can also lose health and alternate healing. Okay, so let's go with something like my amount variable or my health variable minus equals to my amount, ending with a semicolon. Okay, I'll just add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like damage dealt. Okay, ending with a / new line and a semicolon. Okay, as someone who has been doing computer science for 8 years, watching someone else do the basics is nice. Oh, I see, that actually sounds pretty fun. Okay, that said, that's pretty much it for my take damage method. Let's go ahead and use it. I'll do something like healer 1 dot take damage, dot take damage. I want to take something like, I don't know, maybe 50 HP's damage, ending with a semicolon. And then let's go with something like healer 2, dot the take underscore damage. Actually, the take damage method, I want to take something like, let's say 30 damage, ending with a semicolon as well. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, so it says Luna heals this much HP, damage dealt. I do want to print their HP again, so I could go with another standard console output. Or instead, let's go with an insertion operator. Okay, I could go with like a / new line, and then another insertion operator. This is going to say something like HP left, so HP left, there we go. Okay, with another insertion operator, this is going to be my health variable. Okay, lastly, this is gonna be health. There we go. Is it called like health? Okay, let's copy that and go ahead and paste it here. Okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, I was watching a Redstone series by Matt Batchwings, which was about logic design. It was so intriguing seeing stuff I had done years ago in university, but in a different font. Oh, that actually sounds pretty fun. Okay, so Luna takes 30 damage. The health now 80, potion 1, damage dealt, HP now 30. Okay, perfect. Let's go with a Control-C, copy that, good sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this. Okay, let's see. It's crazy what you can do with redstone. Some guy made a Bitcoin miner in redstone. Honestly, I've never heard of redstone. That actually sounds pretty cool though. Okay, exactly people. Look at that. You just made your healer dynamic. They can now both gain and lose health independently. A few things to level up even more. Your take damage method should print the name of the healer taking damage. Right now, it's generic. You want your player or in-game your objects to clearly show who got hit. Okay, let me say something like, let's say, can I get another question? Because I don't want to work much on modifying my class. Instead, I want to build new ones to have a muscle memory. Okay, if that made any sense. There we go. Let's see. It's yeah, I was wanted to set that it's small implementation like an LLM, but it's very slow. Oh, I see. Okay, I get you people. You want to expand your army of classes, flex that muscle memory, and make new units instead of tweaking old ones. Good energy. Here's your next question. Create a mages class with these three with these three data members. I'm pretty sure they're called data members. The first is going to be a name, which is a string. The next is going to be mana, which is integer, and then a level, which is an integer as well. And then I got to create a cast spell method with a parameter of cost to it that subtracts my cost parameter from my mana's variable. If enough, print spell cast. Okay, else print not enough mana. And then I got to create another level up method, increase level by 1 and restore mana to max. Okay, and restore mana to max. You choose a max mana. Then in the main function, create two mages, have them cast spells a few times. Level 1, okay, level 1 of them and wait, hold up, did I read this part wrong? Level 1 of them and show mana restored. Okay, I think I see. I want you to write this code, people. Do not rush. Think of how you did, or think of how you did healer and archer. Oh my gosh, guys, I actually can't read. Probably need to drink some water. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's start off by deleting everything. That said, I'm going to be including a pair of ankle braces. So I want to include IO stream. So let's go ahead and include IO stream. Okay, next up, maybe I fixed my includes with spelling. There we go. Okay, next up, let's read the instructions. So it says create a mage class. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a class called mage. Okay, my mage class with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my mage class, I'm going to be having three data members, name, mana, and health. So let's go with something like a standard string of name. This is going to be my name. And then integer of mana, that is going to be my mana. Lastly, I'll go with integer of level, which is going to be my level. Let me go ahead and end my mage class with a semicolon. Okay, next up, I gotta create two methods, cast spell, excuse me guys, and level up. That said, I did forget to like whatchamacallit, publicalize my class, if that's how we actually say it. There we go, so this is gonna be a public class, ending with a colon, and let's indent everything in here. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a constructor. So maybe I'll go with a comment that says something like constructor. There we go. Inside under my constructor, I'm gonna be doing something. So let's go ahead and call my mages class, add a pair of parentheses, and add three parameters. So the first parameter is going to be a standard string of name, which is going to be an n. The second is going to be integer of mana. Lastly, the third is going to be integer of level. Okay, perfect. Not gonna lie, this young man seems to be very dedicated to learning programming from the videos I'm seeing on his channel. Honestly, I appreciate you, Anonymous. That said, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my constructor, let's go ahead and create a few instance variable. So my name variable is going to be equal to my n parameter. My mana variable is going to be equal to my n parameter, ending with a semicolon. Let's just change that to m and that to l. There we go. Lastly, my level parameter or my level variable is going to be equal to my L parameter, ending with a semicolon. How do you program so much without going insane? Guys, I've got insane like so many times. I feel like my anterior mid-singular cortex has developed / the willpower. Okay, you bout me. Okay, if he continues like this for a year, he'll have solid knowledge compared to the average computer science graduates. Honestly, I do appreciate you guys so much. You guys actually help me way too much when I code, so I feel you guys are equally responsible. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and create a method called cast spell. So I'll create a void method. So I'll go with something like void cast spell. There we go. My cast spell is going to be having a parameter of cost in it. So I'll go with integer cost and then a pair of curly braces. Now inside of my cast method, it says subtract cost from mana. If enough, print spell cast, else print not enough mana. So if there's enough mana, okay, I'm going to subtract my cost from my mana. So let's go with an if statement. Okay, can you tell me what you're coding for? Is it a game or something? Honestly, I did like create a programming for 250 series, but my goal by the end of that series is to make a game in general which consists of AI logic in it. That's it. Since I was making a game, I thought to like learn C++, so my C++ for 100A series is like indented inside of my programming for 250A series, if that made any sense. Okay, so I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Okay, he's learning. That's why he's doing absolutely. But try assembly. Honestly, I'm really excited to trying assembly. That actually sounds pretty fun. Okay, that said, I gotta check if my cost is greater than my mana. So if my cost parameter is greater than my mana parameter, actually, if my mana parameter is greater than my cost parameter, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. I'm gonna subtract my cost from my mana. So I'll go with something like cost minus equals to mana, ending with a semicolon. And then if enough, okay, print spell cast, else print not enough mana. So let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like spell cast. Okay, with a /new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, I've coded in Blitz using a custom board one of our teachers made in 1987. I enjoyed it in League more than Java. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty fun. Okay, next up. Okay, else print not enough mana. So let's go with an else clause. So I'll go with else a pair of curly braces. Inside of my else clause, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This says something like not enough mana. Exclamation with a /new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then I gotta create another method called level up that increases level by 1 and restores mana to max you choose mana. Okay, So let's go ahead and create another void function. The reason it is a void function is because it doesn't return anything. So let's go with something like integer level up, add a pair of parentheses. My level up method won't be having a parameter. That said, I will be doing something. Okay, so I'm going to be going with my level variable and increasing it by 1 every time this method is invoked. Okay, and then let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This says something like levels up exclamation with a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, so I gotta restore my mana to be max as well, so I'll set my mana equals to something like 100. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it. Let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main. Not gonna lie, C sharp and Java always have been in my book for personal nightmare high level programming languages. Honestly, in that case, I actually might try Java soon. Honestly, I eventually did want to learn JavaScript or like Java. I'm pretty sure they're different. I'm pretty sure Java is like harder than JavaScript. Although you guys can like fact check me. Want to make games, learn C++ if used for most AAA games. Oh, I see. Okay. So in my main function, I create two mages. So let's go ahead and create two mage objects. The first is going to be called mage1. Okay, and it's going to be having three parameters. The first is going to be a name. Okay, let's scroll up. So I'll need three parameters: name, mana, and level. So maybe the first mage could be called Sarah. Sarah has, let's say, I don't know, 300 or 3000 mana. And let's say Sarah is level 50. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Let's go with the second mage. Okay, my second mage is going to be called mage2. And then I'll add a pair of parentheses. My mage2 is going to be called something like, I don't know, maybe Tom. Okay, Tom has, let's say, 300 mana, and Tom is level 2. Okay, ending that with a semicolon as well. And then have them cast spells a few times. So I'll go with something like mage1 dot cast spell. Okay. And I'll need a cost parameter. I'll go with something like 20. Ending that with a semicolon. And then I'll go with something like mage2 dot the cast spell method. This is going to be something like 10. Honestly, Sarah has more mana, so I'll go with something like 200. And for Tom, I'll go with 100, ending with a semicolon. Since /ChatGPT did say a few times, so let's copy this and paste it one more time. Okay, this is mage1.cast, that's going to be 200. And then let's do one for mage2 as well. So I'll go ahead and paste that. Okay, perfect. Lastly, level one of them up and show the mana restored. So let's go ahead and level mage1 up. So I'll go with my mage1 dot the level up function. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to be ending that with a semicolon. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, you said you're learning C++ for game development. Honestly, I could say like it is for game development, but eventually I do want to either be a cybersecurity or like an AI engineer. Okay, I kind of tried because now it's 23:32. Oh, I see. Okay, that's why games today look the same because they use only two engines. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm terrified of two mages. One is enough. In C++, you end up hitting a wall. It's called build systems. Oh, I see. Okay, cybersecurity. Honestly, I was actually pretty interested in cybersecurity or AI engineer. Although, let's see. So, it's a spellcast and level up. Okay, let's go with the control C, copy that, get sensei/ChatGPT here. AI, honestly, I am like exploring different programming languages to see which I enjoy the most. If I do find one, I am going to be sticking with that. Although I am like learning different ones right now. Okay, okay, people, what did I just watch? You're trying, but this is all wrong. Let's break it down and hit you with the truth. So cast spell logic is backwards. If mana is greater than cost, cost minus equals to mana. Oh, I should have gone with mana minus equals cost. Okay, what cost is reduced by mana? You need to subtract cost from mana, not the other way around. Otherwise, your mage becomes weaker than the spell itself. Mentally, I see you confused. Self and target variables. Mana check. You're using greater than instead of greater than or equal to. If mana equals to cost, then the spell should still cast. That's logic 101. Okay, spell output. You only print spell cast, but where's the cast? But where's who casted and how much mana left? We're building legendary mages, not just silent NPCs. Constructor typo. Constructor spelling matters. Don't be sloppy. Mage stats in main. Mage 1 has 3000 mana at level 50. People, this is overkill for practice. Start reasonable. Okay, here's how I want you to think. Da-da-da. Okay. Okay, honestly, so name, cast a spell using cost, mana left, now fix this logic. Make the spell cast correct, print correct info, and I want two mages in main function, cast spelling and leveling up. If you fail again, you're rewriting this code until it hurts your brains, pupil. Okay, let's go to Sensei slash ChatGPT here, guys. I think Sensei's kind of mad. Okay, before going to machine learning, if you want to be in AI, I suggest you learn mathematics at a high level. Okay, before going to machine learning, oh, I see. As for cybersecurity, it's a very big field. You have application security, network security, endpoint security, GRC, vulnerability management, operational security, offensive security, software analysis, and a lot more. Personally, I'm more into networking security. Oh, I see. That actually sounds pretty cool. Okay, honestly, I am kind of bad with actual math. That's it. I do need to probably improve math. Might have a separate stream on just learning math. That's it. Let's drink some water. Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix a few things. So the first thing that I was doing wrong was I had to subtract my mana from my cost. That actually does make sense. I don't know why did I go with like cost minus mana. So I'll go with something like mana minus equals cost. Okay, perfect. Next up, when I had a standard console output, this is going to be greater than or equal to. Okay, so spell casted. It should be in a format like name cast a spell using. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. I'll go with my name variable, add an insertion operator. Okay, name casts a spell using. Okay, and then I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. Okay, using cost, with another insertion operator, cost mana. Okay, I'll go with something like cost mana exclamation. And then I'll go with another insertion operator. This is gonna say mana left, so I'll go with something like mana left. There we go, with another insertion operator of a / new line. So I could just do this. There we go. Too much caffeine. I think him drink coffee. Honestly, guys, I do drink a lot of coffee. I should like avoid drinking that much coffee. Cybersecurity is required for modern systems because of conformity. Oh, I see. Okay, everyone is just someone who want to live stream himself coding for fun and to learn new skill. Please be kind to him and not bully him in choice. So, okay, that does make sense. Can you do my quiz app on C++? Honestly, I'm not that good with C++. That said, more particularly in banking systems, hospitals, critical environments, and stuff. Oh, I see. Guys, I do kind of miss drinking my coffee. That said, okay, this does make sense. And then that's like a not mana. Okay, perfect. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the commands. Okay, let's go with the Control Z. There we go. Okay, let's see what happens. What if you get kidney stones due to drinking coffee? Have you thought about that? Guys, I actually... Okay, in that case, I should like avoid drinking a lot of coffee. Okay, Sarah cast a spell using 200 mana. Mana left. Okay, mana left should be my mana variable. With another insertion operator of mana / new line. Okay, let's go with something like name leveled up. Okay, name with an insertion operator. Name leveled up to level. Okay, let's go with something like name leveled up to level. I'll go with another insertion operator of my level variable. Okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, this should be in a pair of double quotes. There we go. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Assembly is the ultimate language to learn anyways. If you understand assembly completely, every software is free. Oh, I should actually try assembly in that case. Once I'm like done with my program for 250 series. Okay, that said, Sarah leveled up to level 51. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control A, control C. Hi, what's your experience in programming outside of C++? Honestly, I did like program in Python for like 100 days. That said, what you call it? Python like was my first language. Okay, and modern games don't look similar because it's the modern games don't look similar because the same engine, because most of AAA companies want to make realistic games without much creative freedom. Case in point, Hi-Fi Rush is made in Unreal. Oh, I see. Okay, people, finally some coherence. Your cast spell logic is perfect. Now mana decreases correctly, spell cast print properly, and your level up reset mana and shows the new level. Finally, you're thinking like a C++ mage. The only thing I'll nitpick mage one's starting mana is 3000 at level 50. That's obscenes. Okay, not wrong, just wasteful. Keep it realistic so your memory muscle grow, not just numbers. Okay. For the next practice, I want you to build a new class called Vogue. The attributes must be name, stamina, and health inside my constructor. Okay, constructor to initialize them all. So I gotta initialize my variables. Okay. And then I gotta create a method called sneak attack with a parameter of cost. Reduce stamina by cost if enough. Print attack success and stamina left. Else print too tired. Okay, and then I gotta create another method called rest that has a amount parameter as well that restores my stamina. Okay, create two rogues in main function, have them attack and reset at least 3 times each. Okay, have them attack and reset at least 3 times. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, no games don't run perfectly because they're made on a tight budget with tighter deadlines and developers don't have the resources to fix everything. Oh, I see. Okay, personally, I mainly use assembly for malware analysis and embedded programming. That honestly sounds pretty cool. If you just want to do game dev, C++ is enough. Honestly, I wasn't actually planning to be a software engineer. I was actually planning to like have maybe a minor in software engineering because I do enjoy the concept of making games. Although I do enjoy the concept of making AIs even more, or even like being a cybersecurity. I'm confused between the two of those though. Okay, no, I want an embedded device too. See, I've been looking for a language to have as my main language, and C++ was one of the options, but it gives you too much control for my level, I think. Oh, I see. I'm in my first year for college. That honestly sounds pretty cool. Okay, that's it. Let's read the instructions. So the instruction says create a class called Vogue. So I'll go ahead and create a class called Vogue. There we go. Add a pair of curly braces inside of my Rogues class. I'm going to be adding 3 attributes: name, stamina, and stealth. So I'll go with a semicolon here, and then let's go with something like a standard string. There we go. A standard string of name ending with a semicolon, and then a stamina and stealth. Okay, honestly, what does the stealth mean? Is the stealth like an integer as well? Okay, I'll go with something like stamina ending with a semicolon and a stealth as well. Stealth. There we go. Ending with a semicolon as well. C++ gives you a lot more control, yes, but that also gives you a lot more freedom. If you don't want to manually touch memory, you really don't have to in C++. Oh, I see. Better programming, anything C, C++, Rust, or Arduino. Is that how I pronounce it? Python, Raspberry Pi, and assembly are probably the most used. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not that bad. Main C++ looks hard, but it's not that hard as you think. Honestly, yeah, I feel like C++ was much easier once I understood the programming basics when I did Python. Okay, C++ is hard, bro. What you mean? Is it hard? I feel like it's not that hard. Or I could be learning the basic, that's why it's not hard for me. That said, eventually might get harder. That's it. Let's go ahead and create a constructor now. So I'll go with something like constructor. Inside my constructor, I just give him motivation. Oh, I see. Okay, so constructor. For my constructor, let me go ahead and invoke my Vogue class. So I'll go with something like Vogue, a pair of parentheses. C++ is hard, yes, but it's quite graspable if you actually put some time into it. That actually does make sense. Okay, so my Vogue class is going to be having 3 parameters. Something like a standard string. This is going to be called name. The second one is going to be integer of stamina. Lastly, I'll go with integer of stealth. And then let's go with a pair of curly braces. Oh, okay, this is going to be stamina. There we go. Let's go with STM. And stealth, STH. There we go. And for name, enemy. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a few instance variables. My name variable is going to be equal to my NME parameter. My stamina variable is going to be equal to my STM parameter. Lastly, let's go with my stealth variable. So I'll go with something like stealth variable. That is going to be equal to my STH parameter. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Okay, the thing about C++ is that the language has an absurd amount of features, so there's always something to learn. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Why C++ is hard is that when you're doing... Okay, why C++ is hard is that when you're going from languages like Python, you're trying to compare and find similarities, but the way you do something in Python, you can't do the same way in C++. Honestly, I didn't move from Python to C++. I like felt the complete opposite because I was like, I just learned Python, like I was just implementing the basics, and I did like have like I think like about 5 to 8 streams to getting used to the syntaxes. I feel like it's like the same thing. Okay, here while doing my Python homework, that honestly sounds pretty cool. That said, I gotta create two methods. The first is going to be a sneak attack method with a cost parameter. So let's go with something like a sneak attack method. This is going to be a void method because I won't be returning anything. So void method called sneak attack with a parameter of cost. Okay, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. Okay, inside of my sneak attack method, I reduce stamina by cost. Okay, if enough. So if there is enough stamina left, I reduce my stamina by my cost and I print attack successful and stamina left. Else I print too tired. So let's go with the if statement. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses. Python is much easier. That going from C++ to Python is like going from Python to Scratch. Oh, I see. I think I'll go for C# instead. Okay, maybe I said so you think. Good luck with that. Okay, so I'll go with something like let's say if my stamina variable is either greater than or equal to my cost, I'm going to do something. Let's say I'm going to subtract my stamina variable by my cost. So I'll go with stamina minus equals to my cost variable ending with a semicolon. You misspelled sneak attack. Did I? SNEAK. Okay, ATTACK. There we go. Guys, I get like a lot of typos. That said, I'll go with a standard console output. So let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna say something like name, okay? Name dealt damage, something like print attack success, the stamina left, Okay, so that's my name. Name attacked with some stamina. I'll go in a new line, add an insertion operator, attacked with my stamina variable. Okay, named attack with cost. Cost, stamina. There we go. Okay, and then stamina left, my remaining stamina. So I'll go with another insertion operator. Something like stamina left. Stamina left. Okay, there we go. Let me add a new insertion operator like in a new line. There we go. I'll add an insertion operator of my stamina variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. The thing is, Python has a quite different way of doing things compared to C++. It's not inherently easier when coming from C++. Oh, I see. That actually does make sense. Okay, this is pretty much it for my sneak attack method. I just gotta add a else clause now with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my else clause, I'm going to be adding a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's say something like too tired, exclamation, with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, next up I gotta create a rest method as well. So outside my void attack method, I'm gonna be creating another void method called rest. Okay, my rest method won't be having a parameter. Honestly, it does need a parameter. Okay, so I'll go with the amounts parameter. And then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my rest method, I restore my stamina. Okay, so let's go ahead and restore my stamina. So I'll go with something like my stamina variable increases by my amount variable, ending with a semicolon. Then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's say my name with another insertion operator has rested and restored. Okay, okay, so my name has rested, restd, and restored stamina. Okay, let's go with something like amount stamina. There we go, exclamation. Current stamina is... Okay, I'll go in another line and add an insertion operator of my stamina variable. Okay, lastly, I'll go with one more insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Next up, let's go ahead and create my main function. Learning programming is like learning linguistics. Ooh, that does sound really fun. That's every university, bro. You don't learn a specific language. Ooh. Okay, so let me go ahead and start off by creating a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, let's create two rogue objects. So I'll go with my rogue class and let's create an object. This is going to be rogue1. Okay, my rogue1 will have three parameters of name, stamina, and... okay, so I need name, stamina, and stealth. So let's go with something like name. Okay, my name is going to be something like, I don't know, maybe Sarah. Okay, and my stamina is going to be something like 30. Honestly, let's go with 300. My stealth is going to be 2, because I don't know what did the stealth mean. That said, I did forget to publicalize my class as well, so let me go ahead and publicalize my class. Okay, and then indent everything. I honestly usually forget to like public my class. Okay, that should fix it. Let's end it with a semicolon. And then I go ahead and create another rogue variable, a rogue object. So I'll go with something like tiers of all those languages, dang, university, they scam. Teaching a specific language first without learning the subsequent concepts behind it. Oh, I see. Okay, but my man, somewhere were created. Okay, let's create another rogue object. So I'll go with the rogue2. My rogue2 is going to be having a few more parameters. I can't think of names. My second name could be something like, I don't know, maybe like Tom. Okay, so Tom has 200 stamina and Tom's stealth is, let's say, 5. Ending with a semicolon. Next up, in the main function, have them attack and rest at least 3 times each. Okay, so I could copy my rogue, so I could go with something like my rogue1 dot, let's say sneak attack. Okay, I'm going to be sneak attacking by something like 20. Ending it with a semicolon. Let's go ahead and copy that and paste it something like 3 times. There we go, and I'll change this to 30 and change that to 40. Okay, and then let me even go with a sneak method. So I'll go with actually rest. So I'll go with rogue1 dot rest. There we go. I want to rest something like 50. Okay, that should honestly be pretty much it. Next up, let's go ahead and copy that and paste it right here. There we go. And let me go ahead and replace my rogue1s with rogue2s. So let's go with rogue2, rogue2. Okay, rogue2 and rogue2. Okay, perfect. Did I spell it correct? Okay, this is going to be rogue2. Okay, perfect. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. And for my rogue2, I honestly might change these to something like 10, 20, and 30. There we go. Okay, they were teaching programming concepts, but in the context of the class language. Oh, I see. Okay, if I were to go with the control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay, Sarah attacks with 20 stamina, stamina remaining or stamina left to 80. Sarah has restored stamina to the toe. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control C, copy that, get sensei/chatgpt here. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and paste this and hit enter. Okay, I learned by ChatGPT, but at books too. I use ChatGPT to remember, not adding inside code. I rarely use ChatGPT in programming at all. Honestly, that does make sense. I use ChatGPT for actually learning the basics as well. Eventually, I do move on to like mini projects and all that. That said, people, look at you. This is perfect. Rogue class works exactly like a proper C++ adventurer. Sneak attacks reduce stamina. Reciting restores it. All inputs make sense. Finally, your memory and logic are syncing. A couple of small nuggets to level up your C++ sense. You're doing while stamina is greater than or equal to cost correctly. That's good. Always check before subtracting. Constructor parameters don't need to match instance variable names. Exactly, okay, but later we'll learn this with an arrow mark. Honestly, I've never heard of the arrow mark. So you can do this stamina equals to stamina. Okay, like Python's self.stamina. Oh, okay, that actually might be pretty cool. Next step, I want you to combine classes, create a battle. Okay, let me say something like, so let's say, can I get a instructional based question about classes at this exact at this level, although can it include loops loops. Already mic testing. Guys, my OBS crashed, my bad. Okay, let's go to my gameplay screen. There we go. Okay, I think it's better now. Okay, perfect. That said, listen up, people. I'm gonna give you a beast of a question. And guys, am I audible? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna give you a beast of a question. It's gonna make your brain sweat. But this is how you forge mastery. This will combine classes, loops, and decisions. You ready? Okay, good. Does anyone use Novum and Arch Linux? Honestly, when I was eventually gonna get a PC, and I was planning to get a Linux operating system. Although I will look which are like better Windows or Linux. That says create a class called Gladiator with the following attributes: a name attribute that is going to be a string, a health attribute that is going to be health, okay, and a attack power attribute that is going to be an integer. Okay, and what do you use now? VS Code? Honestly, I do use VS Code right now. That said, constructor initialize all attributes method, attack Gladiator, okay, with a parameter of and target reduces the target's health by the gladiator's attack power. Print something like Maximus attacks Commodus. Is that how you pronounce it, guys? I'm awful with spellings. Commodus's health is 70 and he is alive. Okay, method as well that returns true if health is greater than 0, false otherwise. Okay, in our main function, create two gladiators, simulate a fight round by using a loop. Gladiator 1 attacks Gladiator 2 if Gladiator 2 is still alive. Gladiator 2 attacks Gladiator 1. Okay, end the loop if either gladiator's health is less than or equal to 0. After the fight, print who won. Okay. Honestly, I might add user inputs here as well. VS Code is good because of its extensions. Oh, I see. Honestly, I do think VS Code is actually pretty good. That said, I'll go with the controller and delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I wanna include IO stream. Okay, let's see. Okay, next up, let's read the instructions. So it says create a class called Gladiator. So let me just copy that. Okay, so I'm going to be creating a class called Gladiator. Add a pair of curly braces, and this with a semicolon. Inside my Gladiator, I'm going to be adding 3 attributes. The first is going to be name, second is going to be health, and third is going to be an attack. Although before that, let me publicize my class. Okay, honestly, do we like say it publicize? Okay, which are controlled by a trusted domain controller called Dome. Oh, I see. Okay, let's see. So let's go ahead and create a standard string of name, okay, ending with a semicolon, and then I'll go with something like a integer of health. Okay, health, man, I don't end it. Hot take, just use the IDE/text editor. Ooh, you like the most? Okay, I see. Okay, so I'll go with integer health, and then let's go with integer of attack power. So I'll go with integer of attack power. There we go, ending with a semicolon as well. Okay, there we go. Okay, next up, I gotta add a constructor that initializes all attributes. Honestly, for the constructor, okay, let's go ahead and create a constructor first. Okay, how do you spell constructor? There we go. Okay, so I create a constructor that's gonna initialize my variables. So I'm gonna be going with my gladiators as class. The gladiator, a pair of parentheses. Inside my pair of parentheses, I'm gonna be adding a few parameters. The first is gonna be a name, so I'll go with NME. The second is going to be health, so I'll go with H. I'll just go with H for health. And then the third is going to be attack power, so I'll go with AP. There we go. And then let's go with the Pro of Curly Braces. Okay, I'd like to think I'd be a turtle. Oh, I see. Will this be available for me to watch later? Honestly, it's all saved in my channels as playlist. That said, I will eventually start horizontally streaming again once I get my actual PC. That is going to fix all my lag too. Okay, that said, let me check. Is my OBS... Did my OBS crash? Okay, I think it's lagging a bit. Let me just... Whatchamacallit? Wait, I have emojis here? Guys, let me restart my stream real quick. Already mic testing, mic testing. Guys, here comes my lag again. I was pretty lucky today that my stream didn't lag for like an hour 39 minutes. That said, let's read the instructions. So, I gotta initialize my variables. So I'll go with my name variable equals to my NME parameter. And then I'll go with something like my health variable that equals to my H parameter. And lastly, my attack power variable equals to my AP parameter, ending with a semicolon. Excellent live this. Honestly, it hasn't been lagging. I'm actually pretty... I do appreciate it not lagging because usually when I stream, my stream lags like crazy. That said, I gotta create a few methods. So the first method is going to be attack. So let's go with the attack method. Okay, I'm from South Africa, experienced tech sales leader. Oh, I see. As of right now, I'm using seed. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to create a void function. This function is going to be called attack. So I'll go with a void attack function, add a pair of parentheses, and then let's add a few parameters. Okay, so I'll need a gladiator parameter and a target parameter. Honestly, it doesn't look like a parameter. This looks like my gladiator class and a ant target. Honestly, I've never heard of this. Is a target like a function or something? I mean, it's not a function, but like, is it a keyword? Reduces the target's health by this gladiator. Okay, let's go with the control A, control C. I'll copy that, get sensei/ChatGPT here. I do have a quick question. Let's go ahead and paste this, go with shift enter and say something like, so let's say I wrote this much code so far, Okay, that said, I had a question. I had a quick question. I didn't understand why did we use or why did we invoke our class inside our method, and I haven't heard of the and attack method or the address of operator or ampersand operator target method. Okay, what does it do? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Only downside is the way you configure it. Oh, I see. Okay, listen people, you're on the edge of understanding something crucial in C++ object-oriented programming, so pay attention. When you see a method like void attack gladiator target, here's what's happening. Gladiator inside the parentheses, that means this method expects another object of the same class to interact with. Okay, gladiator inside the parentheses, that means this method expects another object of the same class to interact with, okay? In your case, target is another gladiator. Oh, I see, you want to hit, so think of it like, hey gladiator, here's something to punch, or here's someone to punch. The ampersand before target is called a reference, okay? Without the reference operator, C++ would make a copy of the target gladiator, so any change like reducing health would not affect the original object. With ant, you're saying I want to directly affect the original gladiator you passed in. So when you reduce health, it actually reduces the real target's health. Oh, I see. Okay, that actually makes sense now. It's basically the C++ way of doing Python self, but for other objects. You don't make a copy, you act on the actual object. You didn't just finish the method yet, you didn't just finish the method yet. It should look something like this. Okay, honestly, yeah, I was just kind of confused about that part. That said, let's get Sensei slash... Already, mic testing. Okay, let's see. Bye guys if someone cares. Honestly, bye. I appreciate you sticking through the stream. That said, guys, my OBS is actually crashing. Okay, let's see. So I go with a void attack function. This time I go with something like my target. So apparently I do it like target.health. Okay, so this is going to be my second object dot the health method. Okay, I'm going to decrease that by my attack powers as variable. There we go, ending with a semicolon. Okay, your jacket logo looks like Arch Linux from Temu. Does it actually, guys? Because like I do get that a lot. So many people do say that to me. Okay, and then let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. My standard console output says something like names attack. You guys, is the music too loud? Okay, I think it's pretty good. Okay, so I go with a standard console output. It says name attacks, so I'll go with something like my name variable with another insertion operator of attacks, another insertion operator of my target name, so I'll go with target.name. Oh, I'm actually trying to see how this makes sense. Is anyone there to understand my reference of the jacket? Okay, and then let's go with something like an exclamation. There we go, with another insertion operator of my target name, so target.name with another insertion operator. Okay, his health is going to be my target's health. Okay, my target name says health with another insertion operator of my target dot the health function ending with a semicolon. Honestly, I might go with a / new line and then end it with a semicolon. There we go. Okay, perfect. That's the full Gladiator method. Let's read the next instruction. Okay, guys, I hope the stream isn't lagging. Okay, it seems to be good. Okay, there we go. Attack method. Okay, I feel it is lagging. Let me restart the stream real quick. This is inspiring me. Great job. I appreciate you, Eamon. Okay, let's restart it. Already, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, I'm pretty sure this shouldn't lag now. Okay, I think that should fix the lag, guys. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and read the instructions again. Okay, so it says I need a attack method. I did get a attack method. Okay, and then print something like Maximus attacks Commodus health 70. Okay, and then is alive returns true if health is greater than 0. Okay, let's go ahead and add a if statement here. So I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses. This is gonna say something like is alive returns true if health is greater than 0. Okay, interest, you study your work. Okay, let's go with something like a is alive method. Actually, is alive variable. This is gonna be a boolean variable. Okay, which is gonna be equal to, let's say, true by default because everyone are alive. Okay, and then let's go with something like if is alive. If my is alive is set to true, I'll do something. Honestly, okay, so if my target.health is greater than 0, okay, if my target's health is greater than 0, my is alive variable is going to be equal to true, ending with a semicolon. Else it's going to be false. So I'll go with something like else a pair of curly braces. This is going to be lowercase true. Okay, else is alive is going to be equal to false, ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Next up, return true, otherwise return false. In main function, simulate a fight round by bounding loops. Okay, so pretty sure that's honestly pretty much it. Okay, let's go ahead and create a main function now. So I'll go with something like integer main. Okay, and then add a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces inside of my main function. I'm gonna do something. Let's go ahead and add something like just a sec, guys. Okay, there we go. Inside my main function, let me go ahead and create two gladiator objects. So the first thing is going to be something like there we go. So a gladiator, that's going to be my gladiator class, and then I'll go with something like gladiator. There we go. This is going to be my gladiator one. My gladiator one will have three parameters: name, HP, and attack power. So my name is going to be something like, I don't know, Maximus. Okay, Maximus. And then my attack power is going to be something like, I don't know, let's say 25. Okay, that should be my HP. I'll give him something like 100 HP, attack power 25. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and end that with a semicolon. That's it. Let's go ahead and create another object. So I'll copy this object, paste it here. There we go. My second object is going to be called Commodus. So I'll go with something like Commodus. Commodus has 100 HP, but let's say 35 attack power. Okay, and this is going to be called Gladiator 2. Okay, that said, create two gladiators, simulate a fight round by round using a loop. Okay, I guess I go ahead. Okay, here's the thing. Should I like globalize my variables? Okay, so I could go with something like a while loop. So let's go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with something like while, a pair of parentheses. Let's say while my gladiator 1 dot is alive. Can't I use the is alive this thing? Okay, gladiator 1 dot attack. Honestly, I could like add a while loop here. Okay, let's go ahead and add a while loop here. Okay, so I'll do something like while okay, while a pair of parentheses, actually a pair of curly braces, while is underscore alive, while my is alive is set to true, I'm gonna do something. Okay, and I globalize my this variable. Let me copy that boolean is alive and get it somewhere here. There we go. Okay, that should make more sense. Okay, shouldn't this be like correct? Okay, let's go with something like a while loop, while condition code. Okay, so while a pair of parentheses, did I not add a semicolon somewhere? I'm pretty sure I added a semicolon perfectly. Maybe I added inside of my function. I mean inside of my method in that case. There we go. Okay, inside of my method, let's go ahead and add the while loop. Okay, somewhere right here. So I'll add something like while, a pair of parentheses, while is alive. There we go. While is alive is set to true, I'll do something. I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like, I don't know, maybe... Okay, I'm going to insert something like enter a damage. Enter a damage. And guys, I might restart my OBS real quick because it is kind of lagging. Okay, give me a sec, guys. Let me restart it real quick. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, again. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, howdy KV Cox, I appreciate you joining the stream. Howdy Intresh, I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Okay, there we go. This should fix the lag. There we go. Okay, that said, let's see. So while is alive, while my is alive is set to true, I'm gonna do something. I say how much damage you want to enter, ending with a semicolon. And then let's add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I'm gonna extract, let's say, my attack power variable. There we go. So this is going to be attack power ending with a semicolon. Okay. And my target's health subtracts by my attack power. I'm going to set my attack power to be equal to 0 by default. Okay. Alright, perfect. Inside my attack method, I do that. This is a wide attack. Okay. Guys, is this stream lagging? Okay, I feel the lag is gone. Okay, I think this should be pretty much it. While my player is alive, I do that. Let me go ahead and delete that. Okay. Then if Gladiator 2 is alive, Gladiator 2 attacks Gladiator 1. Okay, end loop if either Gladiator's health is 0. Enter a damage. That is for Gladiator 1. Instead of going with target health, that attack power. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. And then delete it from here. Honestly, let me go ahead and copy this whole thing. I feel like this whole thing should go inside my while loop, including the is alive. There we go. Actually, I feel the is alive is the only thing that should be here. Maybe I delete everything up till here. Okay, there we go. And then next up, inside under my while loop, I'm going to paste this thing. Okay, so while is alive, let me go ahead and delete that part. Target.health minus equals to attack power. Okay, I'm going to copy this part. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. Get that here. There we go. Okay, perfect. So first I ask the user for, let's say, entering a damage. So this is where my user enters the damage. After that, I subtract my target's health by my attack power, and then I go ahead and print this. And then I go with an if statement. If my target's health is greater than or equal to 0, I set is alive to be equal to true, else to be false. That's honestly pretty much it. If end loop if either gladiator's health is less than or equal to 0. Wait, hold up, this should be less than, there we go. Okay, next up, inside of my main function, I'm going to do something like my gladiator1 dot attack. Okay, I want to attack my gladiator2. Okay, perfect. There we go. I hope this asks me for like both gladiators, or should I go with something like gladiator2 dot attack gladiator1. There we go, ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. I hope it doesn't ask me a user input twice. Enter a damage, I'll go with something like 12. Maximus attacks Commodus. Commodus has 88 health left, I want to go with something like 16. Commodus attacks Maximus, health 84. Okay, shouldn't the loop keep running? If health is less than or equal to 0, is alive is false. There we go, true. Okay, now let me hit Control S to save the code, and if I were to run the command, okay, now it should work. I'll go with 12. Maximus attacks Commodus. Commodus had 88 health left, I'll go with 22. Let's go with something like 40, maybe 66. Health is alive equals to greater than 0. Oh, I see. Okay, Commodus has a negative 40 health left. Okay, so is alive equals to false if my health is less than or equal to 0. Is alive equals to greater than 0? Is alive equals to greater than 0. Would this help? Is this? I don't think it works like this. Okay. Is alive equals to health greater than 0. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I think you mean something like if target's health. This is target's health. My whole loop ends. If my target's health is less than or equal to 0. I feel like I feel like I got it. Something is kind of missing, I think. Okay, let's run the command again. I want to see where I messed up. I'll go with something like 100. Maximus attacks Commodus, health 0. I'll go with 100 as well. Maximus attacks Commodus. Oh, I see. Okay, it's because I invoked both my functions. Okay, here's the thing. Should I invoke my function here? What happens if I just go with 1? Now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, let's see. It's going to say damage. I'll go with 90. Okay, I'll go with something like 12. Is alive false, and my health variable target dot health equals to 0. Honestly, okay, let's go with the Control A, Control C. I think it did work, although I did miss some things. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this and hit enter. Let's see what happens. Okay, alright people, stop right here. You're confusing the loop logic with the attack method. Right now, your attack method has a while is alive loop which keeps asking for damage repeatedly, and the loop is tied to one attack. That is not how a fight between two gladiators should work. You basically trapped the Okay, I think I see. Huh. Okay, while gladiator.health is greater than 0 and this, that. Okay, I think I see. Okay, so basically where I messed up was, let's go with a bunch of control Z's. Although before that, I copy this. Let's go ahead and copy that. Who made ChatGPT angry? My bad, guys. Sensei keeps getting so angry. That said, let's go ahead and delete this part and paste it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Boolean is alive. Standard console output. Take damage. Okay. Alright, and then inside of my main function, let's add a while loop. So while, a pair of parentheses, while my gladiator1.health is greater than 0, and my gladiator2.health is greater than 0 as well, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces inside of my pair of curly braces. Did I mess something up here? If gladiator1.health, gladiator2.health. Okay, then I'm going to be doing something. Okay, let's go with this user input. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and paste it right here. Okay, there we go. So, attack power. Instead of just going with attack power, I could go with something like... Let's see. Okay, entry damage. Honestly, what did I have for entry damage? I could go with something like... Gladiator 1. Although I did want the user to input, I might go through that next stream. Okay, so I'll go with something like Gladiator 1 dot attack Gladiator 2. Okay, there we go. Gladiator 2. Okay, ending with a semicolon. And then if Gladiator 1 dot health is less than or equal to 0, I break. Okay, let's go with something like if a pair of parentheses, if my Gladiator 1 dot health is less than or equal to 0, I'm gonna break. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then break, ending with a semicolon. And then I do gladiator 2 dot attack gladiator 1. Okay, I'll go with something like gladiator 2 dot attack gladiator 1. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, this honestly, it wouldn't ask the user for input, although I feel it is like pretty good. Okay, Commodus, Maximus, target dot health. Okay, is less than or equal to 0. Gladiator 1 dot health. Okay, equals to 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, Commodus attacks Maximus. Alright, honestly guys, I actually think that I got a brief idea on how this works. That's that I do like gotta end this stream because I have like a lot of college stuff because I got an exam in like 2 days. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say something like, let's say, I feel like I got a brief idea on how this works. That said, I do got to end the stream right now because I have a assignment due tonight and also a exam this Wednesday. That said, before I end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Okay, let's see. If block is kind of useless. Oh, is it? I see. Okay, listen up, people. To everyone watching, you think learning is easy? It's not. If you want to master something, you have to hit it hard, focus, and pay attention, and pay the price. Excuses are for the weak. Remember this. The difference between a master and a novice is that a master has failed more times than a novice has tried. It's not said by me, guys. Yes, that's his own trunk. Take notes, guys. I don't know why Sensei trying to make me plagiarize this. That said, this quote was said. I've honestly heard this quote in an anime called Assassination Classroom by like Koro Sensei, guys. Okay, that said, now, pupil, go crush that assignment and that exam. Don't half-step it. Give it everything. If you survive this week, then Okay, if you survive this week with the same hunger, you come back stronger and ready to annihilate more object-oriented programming questions with me. Hugs and a virtual kiss for motivation, guys, that did not make me blush. That said, go now, focus, no distractions. When you're back, we slay more classes and make your goal legendary. Okay, you're really quite expressive with your chats, Rush. Okay, let me go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. Let me just get in the center. There we go. So basically that was pretty much it for the stream. I didn't want to stream for longer. That said, once my college is over, I will be streaming for longer. For example, about like 5 to 6 hours. That said, I am actually planning to get a new PC as well. I'm like really close to getting that. I will make a video of me assembling it. That said, once I get my new PC, I will be start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, maybe TikTok and Instagram as well if I met the follower threshold. So if you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there and also join the Discord server. You can get access to the Discord server by typing !Discord in chat. That said, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace. What's the time in your country? Honestly, it's 4:27 p.m. Okay, let's end the stream.